Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I hope you're here having a good day on this Friday morning already. Got a big show lined up and a great weekend ahead. Looks like the weather's going to hold out along the coast. Might get some rain inland, but that remains to be seen. But of course, our weather is brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. We're looking at a high today of 91 and a low tonight of 78. I chuckle a little bit because I've already heard people saying they wish that rain and cool weather was already back. They're already missing it. We've only had like 3 days of really hot August weather, but we have been in it the last couple of days, and I know how humidity has just been thick. You could almost cut through it. But this is August. This is August in Florida, and this is what we normally have. So it's going to be a high of 91 today, but now tomorrow it's going to be a high of 88 and a low of 78. Water temperature does remain at 83 degrees. That's been interesting. Sort of has leveled out this past week. Now next week, I'm expecting to go up a little bit next week. So we'll take a look at that. Let's look at our river readings. The river readings at Apalachicola, Brunstown, we're still talking about this. It's still high. It is at a slow, gradual drop. I know there are going to be some boys on the river this weekend doing some serious catfishing, but we're reading a 13.4 this morning on the Big River. And on the Choctawhatchee, it is getting on down too. It's dropping on out tonight, and it's going to be leveling off by Sunday. But we're looking at right at 10 foot this morning, and getting on down to 9 foot. So it's not in really bad shape as far as the being really high back up in the sloughs, but it's still going to be high there. Now let's take a look. Let's go from freshwater to saltwater. Take a look at our tide chart, brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery, and their motto is "When Caring Counts." And we're looking at the tides today. We're looking today, last Friday, folks, we're wrapping up August of 2013 is about in the books. Now we're looking at a high tide this morning at 5:07. We're just passing high tide. It's going to be falling out all day to 4:26 this afternoon. So we've got a 1.8 foot range, good tides, some good fishing can be done today. Okay, the rain forecast today's coming out of west about 5 to 6 is what it's calling for, and then tomorrow's going to come west-northwest at about 5 to 10. So it might get a little bit windy. That remains to be seen. That always, it can change. Let's go ahead, and with it being Friday, let's go ahead and do our fishing times for today in case we don't get to them doing our fishing report later on in the show. Brought to us by Mark Coward at Edgewater Beach Realty. Our times today, this morning from 8:11 to 10:11. If you notice, that's about an hour or two after tide changes. That's from 8:11 to 10:11 this morning. And this evening from 8:35 to 10:35. Okay, it'll be cool off by that time. Don't forget, night fishing always been really strong this time of year. A lot of people be fishing at night and around the bridges and also in the lakes and all. All right, we're going to take our break, but first we're going to give a shout out to Seaquarters Marina down in Carabel on a Friday morning. I know things down there are really getting away. I know I got some calls this week. I had to turn down 2 or 3 trips, it being Labor Day. My buddies from Georgia are coming down to Carabel, and I want to go scalloping. I want to go fast fishing, and I want to go offshore with them. So what do I do? So I'm going to have to make a decision. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us this Friday morning. Got a big show lined up, like I said, but we're going to get started with our pictures. Now, I'm running behind on pictures, so they're sort of stacking up on me. I haven't had an opportunity to show them a lot this week, but I've had the pictures coming in all week long, and you're going to see here, folks are still catching fish in spite of high water and all kind of dire predictions. They're still bringing in some fish. So let's get started now with the first picture we're going to show. Gator hunt. Gator hunting is pretty strong this year. It's my buddy Trevor Benton with a 7-foot gator, but now he got this with his bow. That's some good shooting with a bow right there. That's a good job, Trevor Benton. All right. Next picture. This is just one of these little cartoons. Back here in all this rain, the last, this summer, this guy, he's walking his fish. He's not walking the dog. Because we can all identify that with that picture. I think that's a big old bass. All right, now I like this picture. How you can put graphics on your boats and all. This is really good. if you're really going out offshore and you mean business, that's when you can tell. A good graphic there. Just want to show that in. Outdoorsman whose garage is getting filled up, sort of like mine has about 15, 20 years ago. Here's a way to do some storage. You can put some old tackle boxes, all kind of things. I thought this was a neat idea. I just want to pass on to you. I ran across this, and I said, that's good. That's some 1x4s and 2x4s. And then actually, I think they cut the 1x4s in half to slide them on there. I thought it was a good idea. I thought some fellow outdoorsmen may like that. Okay, here's a shop. This is a Panhandle picture right here. The turkeys, look how green that grass is and everything. This is a great shot of turkey season on down the road. Okay, Brandon Major caught some redfish. Brandon, a good fisherman. Good job, Brandon. Pretty redfish there. Okay, now we're going to talk about this in more detail, but go ahead and put it on your calendar because I've got to switch my calendar around. This is our Elizabeth Bardoff Memorial Redfish Tournament. It will be Saturday, October the 12th from 6 to 3. And you know how strong we feel about this, how much we support this. So go ahead and we'll talk a lot more about this. This picture here is probably going to be one of my favorite pictures this summer. That was a floundering trip I took with my granddaughter Ashley, and we just had a great time. And somebody wanted to see the picture, so I decided I'll go and show. I showed y'all the video, but I don't think I showed y'all the picture. I'm gonna print that one up and put it in a frame here at my house. Okay, just be careful. This is a recent picture here. Actually, this is the second picture. Here's the first picture right here. You get it hooked, and then okay, I'm gonna go back. You got it hooked in his hand. This is a hand here, and you try to bring it on through, but actually that was a little bit deeper. So that, so this is just a tough choice. Whether bring it out or in that situation, almost would have been best to just sort of bring it out because it wasn't quite that deep right there. So be aware of that. Great wildlife photography. We love to promote wildlife photography, but look how that's taken off the branch right there. Good picture there. All right, Patricia Harbuck, pretty girl and pretty fish. One of my former students married into the Harbuck family, and she's a good outdoorsman, and she married into an outdoors family, and it's not a big fish, but it's a good fish, Patricia. Good job. Okay, we're looking on down. Some of these guys just want to get together and have a fish fry. James Weslowski, he just caught a mess of fish off the pier. He just want to have a fish fry. So, all right. Gag grouper, Wally Barefoot. Nice gag grouper there, Wally. Folks, you know what these are? These are chufa plant. This is the best. My dad used to just love talking about these chufa plants they used to plant for turkeys. Well, folks are still doing it. That's the best. That is the single best plant you can really put in the ground for turkeys. They absolutely love. That's like a filet mignon to a turkey. That's a chufa plant. That's from Greg Barron up there off Highway 77. Football is starting. I was going to throw this in here. Look, all you FSU fans, there's your buddy, Burt Reynolds, 1954 at Doak Camel Stadium. And he did play for FSU. Now, I knew some of the guys that played with him. I'm not going to say he's as good as he said he was, but he did play there. Burt Reynolds. All right. Get back to gator hunting. This big gator brought in down in Weewall, Greg Atkinson and Rodney Pippin. And that is a big gator. That's the name of their high school, Weewall Gators. Mandy Miller took a picture of her dad, Mike Miller, and she said, my dad, my hero. And I thought it was a great picture right there. A good picture of Mandy, and I appreciate you feeling that way about your dad. Sharks are out. Shark fishing here. This is Sean and Joanna Hyde took the picture of Bubba Stebbins. This is at Rosemary Beach. This is not down in Cape San Blas. This is Rosemary Beach this past weekend. Good mess of fish here. Jason Shingler's in this end. That's a good mess of fish right there. Rattlesnakes. Folks, snakes are all over the place. This is 5-footer by Daniel Russell. And you got to be careful if you're out in the woods now. They're really moving around with all this heat. Cute picture. This is a carp with Celia Fabularo, and she has, her dad says she's chased that carp around all summer and finally caught it. So that's a good picture there. I'm going to talk about this picture later, okay? Well, that's Mr. Powell Adams there back in the day. This is a Throwback Thursday picture. That's his son Clint. And Powell was a game warden a long time right here. Did a good job. Okay, this weekend, real quick. Now, actually, this is today, August the 30th, today. If you want to go up to the Eel Whistle Biofeeder Center and have some kids fun with folk arc. Okay, that's their project today. And now tomorrow, geocaching. This is really a big thing around here. They can hide stuff around, and you can take your compass up there and find it for 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. A lot of fun doing that. Okay, and let's go ahead and mention this. Duck season, got this last night in the mail. Go ahead, early season for Canada Goose is September the 7th. It's going to be here soon, okay? And then wood, our normal special early season, September 21st. So go ahead and put that on the calendar. This is coming out. The normal early wood duck and teal season, September 21st through 25th, that weekend right there. And we'll talk more about it later, the rest of the season, okay? And speaking of duck season, Brant Marshall already getting he's already got his duck boat ready. He did it, finish this yesterday. All right, we've got to wrap things up. Bill Allen caught a nice fish, as always. Bill's a good fisherman. And let's wrap it up with this beautiful sunset right here. All right, taken by Ray Wishart. All right, we've got to wrap this up. I have a lot more stuff. We're already running behind. Let's go ahead and take a break now, okay? Welcome back. I just thinking during the break now, just looking back on those pictures we just showed, you know, and all these are recent pictures now within the past, except for that one of Powell Adams, of course, but, you know, just think of all the beautiful sunset, the fish offshore, the fish inshore, the freshwater fish, all in the past week. And even in this bad high water and all the bad things, you know, happen as far as outdoors, as far as weather and all, we still were able to bring in those many pictures. So what a great testimonial is as to where, you know, we talk about living in a paradise of outdoors here in the Panhandle. That's a testimony right there just this past week. So thank all those folks for those pictures and all. You know, from gators to all kind of fish. Have an email here. Let me read you this email. This one from before I get an email though, I had a call last night. A friend of mine thinks her husband has Lyme disease, which comes, of course, from ticks. So I wanted to go ahead and give a warning. We'll talk more about Lyme disease on next week's show, but be careful if you're going out this Labor Day weekend out in the woods. She said a doctor told her the ticks are actually jumping off the leaves on the people. It's a bad time of the year to get in the woods as far as getting in bushes and all, getting ticks on you. You really need to be careful now. So we're going to talk more about that. That could be a serious disease, okay? Here's an email from one of our YouTube viewers, Rudy Smith, up there in North Georgia. He said, hey, Mr. Chester, I always enjoy the show, but was particularly interested in the presentation of the shark attack statistics. I do a lot of wade fishing in St. Joe Bay, and I see quite a few sharks. So I'm very watchful as I fish. A funny story was when we were fishing a flat near Windmark, and Windmark's right there on Highway 98, and he said I fished near a guy who had brought his 2 black labs with him. He fished the flat, and the dogs swam out to him, and then the paddling of the dogs attracted a couple of black tips. And the man got his dogs out of the water in a hurry. No harm done, but it did get our attention. You know that kind of motion all in the water. That's like a shark attractant. Anything like that. So be careful. You know, I don't take my dog out in salt water, and just for that reason right there. I mean, if you're out that deep, it's okay, but don't let them swim out there. And especially if you're out there fishing. And again, if you have a stringer of fish, make sure that stringer of fish is way behind you, because that blood is going to attract sharks too. So we've been fortunate here, knock on wood, that we haven't had anything, but got a big weekend coming up. The water's murky and all, so just be careful what all you're planning to do. Okay. Now also. On your Labor Day plans, I was thinking last night, if you don't have a chance to fish, there's still a lot of outdoor activities you can do. You can go camping this weekend. Be a great weekend to go boating. Just take the boat out. I know a lot of people haven't been able to take the boat out because of the weather. Just take your boat out. Don't do anything else. Just ride around in a circle. But go somewhere and just take your boat out. And you can do those kind of things, camping, walking on the beach. You can get out, just get outdoors sometime this weekend. It looks like we may have some rain inland, maybe a little bit more, but don't let that deter you. But make sure that if you do go out in these muddy roads and all, make sure you sort of look ahead before you get in those holes and everything. All right. Let's see a couple other things. Oh, next Saturday, the FWC is doing that workshop here at St. Andrew State Park to becoming an outdoors woman. So it's going to be from 9 to 3. You got to sign up ahead of time. They're going to teach you how to fish, saltwater, freshwater, how to throw a cast net, how to read a compass. all those things I teach in my class, they're going to try to teach it to you in one day. So sign up there. And also the Hunter Safety Course in Holmes County. It'll be in Boniface at the First Baptist Church. It's also next weekend. So those two things are coming up. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get set up for our drawing. I noticed one other note I had. You see, when I have to have notes, have so much stuff. The Flathead Catfish Tournament is this weekend down at Weewalt. And this should be a good weekend. I'm predicting some really big catfish being brought in. Okay? Now, there's our Tarpon Dock Seafood weekly drawing. The first winner will get a $20 gift certificate to Tarpon Dock. And the second one will get a big old red snapper. And speaking of red snapper, it doesn't look good about that fall right now. The research I'm hearing, they're saying that we, the recreation fishermen, have caught 3.2 million pounds over the allowed quota this summer. Now that's the latest research as of Wednesday night of this week. I don't know if it's hit the paper yet or not. So it looks pretty. The jury's still out, and the committees are all still studying it, but we may not get that fall red snapper season. But it's not my decision, it's their decision, and as soon as we're here, we pass it on. The winner of the $20 gift certificate will be Judy Corbin. Judy Corbin, okay? The winner of the red snapper will be, okay. Can't get it out of here. Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, I got a hold of. Well, that person won 2. He disqualified. That person won 2 already. If you won 2, I think that's enough. That's just my personal decision. If you won 2 times, I'm sorry. All right, here we go. All right, this one right here. And okay, Anda Gagne, G-A-G-N-E-T, Anda Gagne. All right, that's the 2 winners right there. All right. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to get set up for their famous Friday fishing forecast. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, folks. I'm glad you're with us. Now listen, I wanted to show you, I made this last night. This is a yardstick. I don't know if you can see all of it here. I can't. Okay, that's a yardstick right there. And we've had 42 inches of rain. So this is how much rain we've had since early July. Can y'all, this is the amount of rain we've had since early July. It's amazing to see this. So that, we talk about outdoor activities and all the things happening. This is how much rain we've had in the month since early July. It's just fascinating to me. So that affects our fishing. And I got tickled. I was talking to some of my friends and all. I talked to Scott Lindsay. We laugh about it. How in the world you give a fishing report when not a lot of fish are being caught? Well, there are some fish being caught, but here's the deal right here. They're difficult and the conditions are difficult. August is always a slow month. But I tell you what, one of the things I was thinking about driving in this morning, I wrote myself some notes while I was driving. The fish are going to eat, okay? And I'm talking about they're going to go to the bait. Well, the big thing, the bait has left the area. A lot of bait, the fresh water, and especially in the bait system, has run a lot of the bait out. So what they're having to do, the fish are having to work a little bit harder. And I tell you what, the key to good fishing this weekend is going to be fishing some structure like around bridges, because this is where the fish know that the bait's going to be somewhere around the bridges or somewhere around some kind of structure. So if you can actually get in those areas there, you're going to be in good shape. So the bridges over in Choctahatchee Bay, the bridges over there, come back over here to the Hathaway Bridge, the Lynn Haven Bridge. We have a good tidal flow. We have an outgoing tide this weekend. So think about fishing some bridges and structures. Down here St. Joe Bay, you have the canal there. And then all the way, and then you have that big seawall right there. That's going to be some good flounder fishing over the weekend, and then down in Apalachicola Bay. But you have the bridges there. But let's go over here to take a look on our map right here. We're talking about this Choctahatchee River, and freshwater fishing should be good. Should be good this weekend. There's so many places. There's Ebro right there in Calford. You have Calford Island, and then the East River Island. All these little islands here, and of course they flow on into Choctahatchee Bay, right into this area right here. I'm trying to keep everything in the center of the screen right there. And then it's going to be dark, muddy water. I say muddy, just won't be clear water. But that should be some good fishing there around those islands and all, because it's going down. It's going to start clearing up pretty soon. Folks, I keep saying the fish. I'm going to be hearing the coach. I'm tired of hearing you say that. The fish have got to eat somewhere. The West Bay Bridge. There'll be some sheep fed around the West Bay Bridge right in this area right in here. Okay? Let's go on here on the north shore of West Bay. this past week, there were some redfish caught here on the North Shore between Crooked Creek and Burnt Mill Creek, right in there. You saw the picture earlier in the show of nice redfish. Okay, now let's move on down the Hathaway Bridge. I'm hearing reports they're catching this past week. They're catching some redfish, folks, with a top water plug from around the Hathaway Bridge. Believe it or not, it showed me. Talked to the guy, a reliable source there. So that's going to be a good place for the weekend on a good outgoing tide. Right here, the mouth of here in Navy base, right here. The mouth right there of Alligator Bayou, right there in the center. Okay, y'all see that right there in the center. Alligator Bayou. Now let's go on over here. Grand Lagoon area. Those docks right here. These docks would be excellent fishing. Right here is the. Okay, right here you see the actual. Okay, I'm trying to get my pointer right here. Okay, now the actual. Okay, that's Captain Anna's restaurant. This bridge right here. Again, that's a little opening right there. I've caught over the years. I've caught some good flounder in here. Got some good fishing. These docks here around Bay Point. It's going to be some good fishing this weekend. Okay, now let's move on down here. At the pass, back on the backside of Shell Island. I will guarantee you this weekend right here. If they're not too many, it's Labor Day weekend, so it's going to be a lot of boats here, but you can fish over on this side here. Right there's a good spot, okay, for redfish. Now let's go on down here. Crooked Island Sound is always strong, but it's not a secret anymore, people fishing Crooked Island Sound. There's just a lot of activity there now. All right, move on down. Let's go down here to St. Joe Bay, and I probably will end up scalloping this weekend. I'm going to try to fish in the morning and afternoon, maybe scallop in the middle of the day. And I will be in this area, okay, I'm going to be right up in this area, right below Black's Island. And we're going to go a little bit deeper. I don't like to scallop deep, but this time of year we're going to have to do that. But okay, I'm going to run out of time. This fishing report will be on the web page. Go ahead and check it out. As always, folks, I want to thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We get a lot of good reports. We just will pass them on to you so you can enjoy the outdoors as much as we do. If you do something good for somebody this weekend, have a great Labor Day weekend. God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.